Ice on 3, 1, 2, 3, ice!
Ready. Okay.
Energy on 3, 1, 2, 3.
All right, Rocket football fans, we're going to take a long road trip this week going over to Hancock County, the other side of Owensboro. Take on the Hornets, a team we hadn't seen in a few years. Supposed to have played them last year. COVID got it.
Yep.
Pretty good football team. I misspoke on the Monday show we did, the podcast, because I said they hadn't lost a regular season game in the last 2 years, but they did lose one last year.
I didn't know they did.
They did lose one last year. I went back and looked. So Hancock County's 4-0. They're ranked number 6 in Class 2A. And the Rockets, after last week's loss, 9-0 to Caldwell County, we're unranked for the first time, Coach, since kind of the middle of the 2019 season. So this is a good chance for us to go beat a ranked team and get a little credibility back.
Right, yeah, we need to. It's a good opportunity for us. I mean, the rankings are nice, obviously, but not what we're looking at either.
Yeah, us guys in the media like to talk about it.
Right. And it does. I mean, it's good for the kids and the program to definitely be in them. I mean, you're winning games if you're in the rankings, and you're not if you're not. So it's not like it's just completely something crazy. It is some, validity to it.
Sure. And, Caldwell County was unranked last week too. They're another team that's typically up there in that top 10, and I guess when we lost to them 9-0, we dropped out of it. But we are going to see a team that has become accustomed to winning. Mm-hmm. They lost last year to Owensboro Catholic in the playoffs by 1 point after they had beaten Catholic by a point during the regular season. So well-heeled football team, and they're pretty young, Coach.
Yeah, that's the thing about them that I knew. Kind of checked them out last year because we thought we were going to play them, and then we knew we had them on the schedule this year, and we're like, dang, they're winning those games young. So, we wanted to check them out and see. They're an impressive team. They're, got some big guys, but play really hard. Their offensive line especially stands out to me. They're not necessarily huge up front. Actually, their ball carriers are probably bigger than anyone they have up front, but, man, they come out low and play hard. Doing good things there.
Well, Hancock County has a pretty storied football history. Obviously, Mr. Football, Travis Atwell, played there in the early 2000s, late 90s. See, he graduated in 2000, so late 90s. And we played at them the year, I think we had a pretty good team and went up there and played them. I believe we were 8-0 when we went to Hancock County, and they laid it on us pretty good. I believe Brad Hart can still talk about that one. I think we were talking about that the other day, and he was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, some of those Hancock teams and matchups has kind of lived on in history. I've heard about them and saw them when I was in middle school, and they were some hard-hitting, athletic guys. Man. I was young, but I could tell they were different when we got playing. But we were good. Like you said, we were a good team, and, man, they laid it on us.
Good physical football team. And they had the Michael Swindell, who also he and Atwell both went on and played at University of Kentucky.
Yeah.
And, of course, I think I mentioned I don't know if I mentioned, but that was the year when Atwell was a senior. They went to the state finals.
Yeah,
got beat by Beechwood, team that you lost to in
2008.
Team a perennial.
They're always
champion, aren't they? So let's take a quick break and recognize some of our kind partners who help us make this show and all of our digital media possible during the football season. We of course have Whitetail Properties. Mark Williams, he's our local agent. And you can check out his listing every week in the Crittenden Press. We'll also have Marion Eye Care Center, Dr. Adria Porter, Mike and Stoner's Barbershop. We like to say it's where a haircut's always an adventure. Shara on the New York Stock Exchange, YTG Insurance, that's Tanner Tabor, your agent, and Colonel Ag Repair, Corey and Derek Colonel. Working on tractors and all sorts of those farm equipment type devices. You know those guys?
Yeah,
they're pretty smart on those tractors, aren't they?
Yeah, a lot smarter than me. I don't know anything.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Hancock County's offense. And, Coach, while you're talking, I'm going to run a little film cutaway here, and our viewers can watch and see it for themselves. But they run a little option, do a lot of stuff, kind of a thrown together, a potpourri type deal.
Yeah, I'm not exactly what sure what you'd call it, honestly. It's a power offense. It's a run-heavy offense. Some wings back there. Got some big guy carrying the ball. Run option. Anytime, they run quite a bit of option. Anytime a team that'll run option and different options, you got to play assignment football. That's the thing as a defensive coordinator that always worries me if one person doesn't do their job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always the case, but against the option, it's even more so. So, like I mentioned earlier, the line comes really low and hard off the football. The way they play, out of everything on the film, that's what stands out to me. They're just a physical football team that wants to run the ball, and they've been successful doing it.
Their running back reminds me a little of the boy over at Madisonville. He's about 6'1", 200 pounds. And,
he's a big old boy.
Yeah, you'll get to know him pretty quick. Number 32.
Yeah, they'll give him the ball, and it's a good test for us. Obviously, we didn't fare very good against the big back against Madisonville, so we're going to see them throughout the season, and we got to show that we've got better and are able to handle a big back like that. So I'm excited just to see where we're at, see if we've got better, against that type of back again.
His name's Logan Willis, and he's rushed for a little under 800 yards. Their quarterback runs the ball a lot too. Then they have another boy, a senior, Noah Mize, number 11. That's pretty dangerous. Little quick guy.
Yeah, their quarterback can hurt you. I mean, he throws it decent too. They have some big targets out wide that he can hit. Really big, number 15 outside. I'm not sure how tall he is, but a big old guy, not what you normally see in a receiver. But he runs the ball well, probably scares him more with any type of option team. Obviously, they have a running quarterback, and he can do it. And 11's probably their best athlete out there looking on film. They really want to get him outside, get him in space, and he can make some things happen. So, they're pretty well good everywhere. And even on the other side, I don't know if it's number 2 or 3, but the receiver that's opposite of 15, I believe is a leading receiver, even though he's not targeted as much. So, pretty balanced, a lot of good weapons out there for him.
Their passes, they don't throw it a whole lot.
No, I think
he's completed 15 passes.
Is that right?
And three interceptions, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I could see. They definitely want to run the football, that's for sure. But they'll, with any run-heavy team, that a lot of big plays, play action and stuff like that may come off of it. So you got to be prepared to stop both. But definitely, number one thing we have to do is stop the run, and I'm sure the number one thing they always have to do is run the ball. They're very, very run-heavy.
And I did notice something. I watched a little bit of their film on your huddle, and they don't kick point afters very much. They go for 2, and they're successful.
Yeah, and I like that. It makes sense, right? You're in this run-heavy offense. You're getting 3, 5, 10, whatever it is. But, might as well. You're telling me, as a coach, they're probably thinking we can get 3 yards every time. That's what we're built off of. So why would we kick extra points? So I like that strategy. Yeah. I like how they play. They're a physical, run-heavy built team.
They have run 13 2-point conversions and kicked 1 PAT. Yeah. So
I didn't know how many they kicked, but I only saw 1 on film that they tried, and it was late in the game. I felt like they kind of maybe were just practicing if they ever needed it, type thing.
Yeah, well, that's when I started watching. I thought, well, they must not have a kicker. But then you see how successful they are because it's double the pudding there whenever you score the 2.
Yeah.
So. All right, well, let's take a quick break and recognize some of our sponsors again. I want to really give a shout out to Serena Dickerson. She does such a great job as a quarterback club president, and she does so much more, and we appreciate her and Full Body Fitness being a partner in our broadcast. Par 4 Plastics, where their team is mighty proud of the Rockets, and they're proud of the Par 4 team out there. The management is. And we have Magnolia Bank. That's Derek Myers, who shoots off the Rockets, and unfortunately he saved a lot of money last week.
Unfortunately.
We got to do a better job of getting in his pocketbook. Yeah. And Mulligan's Pizzeria and Pub. You can typically go out there and watch a ball game on Friday night. So, Coach, the Hancock County defense, they got 3 or 4 guys that are pretty good. Number 34, I think, was a linebacker, and they have a defensive end that's pretty good, and then the nose isn't too bad. Those are the guys that stood out to me. 34 is a middle linebacker of the defense, big physical guy, seems to play with good angles, fits the run really well. He's pretty good. He's
definitely above average high school linebacker. He stood out to me as soon as I turned the film on. And probably the second guy was actually the nose guard to me. His speed, get off, and just like their offensive line, their defensive line plays low and hard. And they're not necessarily real big. I believe number 8 is probably the defensive end you're talking about. And he is actually the backup running back and returns kickoffs for them. So you're looking at kind of our philosophy of how they want to get speed down there and getting the penetration in the gaps. So not real big down there, but I think in the box that they're pretty solid.
The nose guard who wears number 55.
Is that what it was? 55?
Yeah, it was. He was pretty deceiving, really. Looking at his body, but he's pretty quick.
He is.
He looks kind of more like a lineman than a guy that's creating a lot of problems in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, so. I agree.
Of course, we have struggled the past 2 weeks. I don't think there's any argument that we've struggled to run the football.
Right.
Do you see, looking at this defense that Hancock County is going to bring to bear against us, can we run the football against them? Do you see some things we can exploit?
Well, yeah, we can run the football, but like I try to tell them all the time, it's about us though. It's not about Caldwell, Madisonville. It's not about Hancock. It's not saying they're good or bad. We can run the football if we do what we're supposed to do. If we execute up front and we carry the ball the way that we're supposed to, we can run the football against anybody. It's not necessarily a matter of matchups. We have to run the football to win football games. I just feel like that in high school football. That's just what it comes down to. At the end of the year, when time comes, who can run the ball and who can stop the run? I mean, we see it every year. We don't get beat on the pass, and we don't beat people throwing the ball late. It gets cold, and you see, people go to what they trust, and toughness wins a lot of games, and people are ready to run the ball and stop the run. So we have to be able to run the ball no matter who we're playing. So that's the mentality we're going to take, and we focused on it a lot this week. We have to run the ball. It's a must.
So what do you focus on? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to get better at?
It just overall execution. It's just, with Coach Berry does a great job with the offense, and he watched film with them this week, and it's just every play someone's wrong. It's just one person most of the time that causes these plays not to work. So, just getting everybody on the same page, having the guys that are supposed to be blocking them the right way. Sometimes when we have it blocked right, the running back goes the wrong way. It's just, you wouldn't believe some of the mistakes that we're making of why we can't run the football. But just at the end of the day, it's all of us getting on the same page and executing. That's it, and that's been the focus.
And, it's a little bit counterintuitive because that front line is where some of our most of our experience, returning experience is at.
I know. Yeah, it's not what we expected where we'd be at. And, I don't really know what it is. I know that we're kind of got back to the basics a little bit this week. Going to, kind of get back to day one stuff and just be able to run our stuff because that's what we should be able to do. Find our identity. What's our bread and butter going to be? Let's get back to our regular stuff. We don't need anything special. Let's just be able to run the football. And I think that's been Coach Berry's focus this week. So,
and I think some people were questioning why they thought we had more rushing yards last week because I think Preston, because you run that shovel pass on that jet, and that's actually passing yards.
Yeah, it is.
I know last week when Preston kind of bobbled one, and you were quick to point out
that's
to the referee, hey, that's a pass, guy.
Yeah, I wanted to see after the play because if he picked it up and we got yards, I seen it, so I didn't want to say it too early, but I wanted to make sure if it happened again that we knew it was incomplete, not a fumble. So,
and that's tough for the guy keeping stats too because you really have to watch. You
right.
can't take a break.
Did he
Did he hand it or pitch?
And it was really tight. I was watching on film. I told them I seen it in real life. He pitched it, but on film, they're so tight you can't tell at all. It does look like he handed the ball, so I bet it is tough trying to recognize.
Yeah, especially if I try to watch the guy playing center for
try to watch yourself. Yeah,
you got to keep your eyes open. All right, well let's recognize some more of our sponsors while we have a moment. Ellington Detailing, that's Rommel Ellington. Homestead Auction Realty, and that's Darren Tabor. Plant Federal Credit Union on Main Street in Marion, and H&H Home and Hardware. They're going to have a big fall festival down there in a couple of months. So, Coach Courtney, let's talk a little bit about Hancock County in years past. We mentioned in years past, but I just want to bring this up because the passing record against Hancock County is Austin Berry, 304 yards.
It's a pretty good night.
Pretty good night. So we need Luke Kreider to have an Austin Berry night. And Austin Berry's the offensive coordinator, so we can get that done, right?
Yeah, I think so. Luke's been doing well, and I think we compliment him, like, if we can run the ball the way that we've been. People have been able to sit, and they. I'm not saying they did. Caldwell stayed in there and stopped the run, but we got to be more balanced, and I think that'll help Luke out.
And when because toward the end of that game against Caldwell, we kind of boarded run, and then when you come one dimensional, they can't. It makes it tough for anybody to put a pass in there. Nobody get open.
Yeah. That's what happens, and even then, I thought. He did a really good job late in that game when we did just open up and start playing. Made a drive there towards the end of the game that looked great, and it's like, man, why is it? What's different? What takes us so long to get going sometimes? But we just got to do it for 4 quarters this week, and there's both offense and defense. And I've told the guys all week. The defense was just in the same situation. We just got Madisonville the week before, 300 and something yards rushing. I told him, I don't even know. That's the worst thing as a defensive guy that you can imagine. You give up that. And then we were able to fix it. No big deal. The offense is kind of that, both this week. Just got to fix it. It's not that big of a deal. And for the defense, it was just getting back to the fundamentals and doing their job. And that's all it is for the offense. And they'll be fine, just 1 week. And I also put in perspective, we didn't score on them last year either. Caldwell, they're a tough defense. We didn't score on them, and we ended up fine offensively. It's not time to change everything, abort everything, maybe get back to the basics, fundamental. It's nothing. There's no big changes that need to be made. We're going to be just fine.
I want to make another note here of, and I'm talking about team records, Courtney County records. 196 yards is the rushing record for the Rockets against Hancock County in the history of all the times we've played in the series. 196 yards, that was Johnny Crider. It's Luke Crider's uncle.
Okay. Yep.
So we have some ties here.
Yeah.
Wanted to bring this stuff up. If you want to read about much more like this, go to the Rocket Football website and click on history, and you can read the record book that Andy Hunt has put together.
It's good stuff.
Unbelievable the stuff that he comes up with, and we really appreciate all he does for Rocket Football, and keeps all those stats going up to the KHSAA and gets a lot of our guys in the top. Gets them in the top 25. I noticed Case Gobin was in the top 25. I know Luke's up there. So we'll come back in just a second, and we'll talk about Case Gobin's play last week too, and some of the other guys. Let's mention some of our sponsors once again. La Delicia Restaurant, that's the Mexican restaurant out on the north end of town. First United Bank on Main Street in Marion. Deer Lakes Golf Course, that's home of the Rockets, at least part of the time, for the Rocket golf team. And Farmers Bank and Trust. Also want to mention Riley Tool and Machine, and that's Todd Riley. He is the voice of the Rockets. Hodges Sports and Apparel on Sturgis Road. Moments in Time Pictures, that's Reese Baker. And the Frazier Law Firm, Bart Frazier, who announced he's running again for county attorney earlier in the week, by the way. So we have also got Whitetail Properties and Mark Williams. Don't want to leave Mark Williams out, and we appreciate all Mark does. He has the Jumbotron out there for you guys, and a nice little feature for the Rockets.
Yes, it is.
So let's talk just a little bit about last week's Caldwell County game. I know at this point we don't really want to dwell on what happened last Friday night. We've got tomorrow night's game right here staring us in the face. But Case Gobin really had a great game.
He did.
And he had 3 sacks, which is the most ever against Caldwell County, which is a team we've played pretty much since Courtney County, the county school, was playing football. 19 tackles he had last week. That's the most ever against Caldwell County. So Preston Morkins had 9 receptions, most ever against Caldwell County. And Luke Crider had 19 completions, and that's the most ever against Caldwell County. And we didn't even score, Coach.
I know. Yeah, that's crazy how that works.
If I would have told you those offensive stats, you said, we scored 2 or 3
pretty
touchdowns.
Decent night. Yeah.
But talk about some of those guys. What's Case Gobin's guy we probably hadn't talked just a whole lot about this year, but he's really coming on.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of the 3 games he's been dominant. He's been Defensive Player of the Week 2 weeks of the 3. So, I mean, his motor, I think, separates him. He's athletic. He's long. He's kind of typical defensive end guy. So what you're looking for down there, and he's just a little bit ornery and just plays so hard. He doesn't quit. He's making 19 of those tackles. 3 or 4 of them are on the opposite sideline, and he's at defensive end just chasing them down. And it's just the effort that he plays with, I think, of what's happening. And I also mentioned Yates on the other side of him. You have to. They do double Yates. Yates played great last week, and he's got the notoriety. Everyone knows who he is. He's going to come into people's scouting reports. And Case didn't play last year. They don't know who he is, but they're probably starting to now, but at least early.
Which can help Gaige out.
Right. So it's just like a receiver playing on the other side. They're just playing off each other. So I think, that's helped him out. He's been single blocked and been able to win. And I think things will probably start evening up because – you can tell pretty quick. You better know where he's at too. He's been playing great.
Sure, yeah. We may start hearing Dylan's name a little more.
Yeah,
not being double.
And Dylan's been great. He's been great. And that's the thing. Sometimes that making plays is obviously what everyone wants to do, but sometimes it's just about doing your job and executing and eating up double teams, especially your defensive lineman, and letting someone else make it. And I thought he played really, really well against Caldwell County too.
So. Coven had 3 sacks last week, and that broke the record of 2 sacks against Caldwell County earlier. It was Nicky Brown. You have to go way back to 1988 to get back to Nicky Brown. And
I don't know.
We were talking about earlier, Nicky Brown played on that team when we played Hancock County back in '88. And we went up there and beat them at the very end of the game, 27-26. That's when Ronnie Moss was playing and some of those guys. So
we have some history with them a little bit.
Really do. We haven't played them a great deal, but every time we play them, it's a doggone good football game, and we expect nothing less this week.
No, that's what I expect. Yeah, that's all we've ever known with them, really. I mean, I'm sure that I remember when Swindell and them, they probably got us pretty good, but we played them. They were in our district 2 years when I was in high school, and they were both just physical, good, evenly matched games. I don't even remember how they turned out, but I remember I had a lot of respect for their program. They reminded us of us. Really, you might look at us and we might not be nothing that just pops off the screen at you, but just tough, disciplined, play hard. So I had a lot of respect for them.
Yeah, I believe we played them 10 or 12 times. That's on the website. Andy's got all that information on there, and I think they hold a couple of 2 or 3 game edge on us in the series, but always has been just a war when we play them. They're generally a physical football team. No, they play the game right, and we expect that this week.
I don't think anything different.
So, what is the key to winning this football game this week, Coach? Because we're 1-2 now, and I know you want to get that W and even things up here.
Yeah, it's early in the year, but this one seems really important. It seems like a pivotal game, one that we really need. And I hate to feel that way, but it's just being honest with the team and how I feel. I think this is a big game for us that we really need to come out and win it. And I think to do that, we obviously got to stop the run on defense. If we can do that, then I feel like we're in good shape. And I feel like we got to be able to run the football. Those 2 things, we got to stop the run and we got to be able to run it. We got to come up with our identity a little bit offensively, and it's got to involve some type of run game. And we've focused on it, and that's going to be the plan. Turnovers also, if there was anything else, we lose the game when we lose the turnover battle. We've not been winning the turnover battle, and we've not been winning the games when we don't. Right. So those 3 things, the big things. But that's always your big 3, right? Most of the time, at least in high school football, run the ball, stop the run, and win the turnovers, and we'll be okay. So that's our goal.
Well, I know we announced in the newspaper this week, and I even posted it on the website for a while, that we were going to play Christian County on October the 8th, and already that's changed, and you have a new opponent, right?
Yeah, we had I don't know, it just it didn't work out the way that we thought.
It's COVID year.
Yeah, it's just been crazy, but good news is Trigg County opened up right after that, and they asked us if we wanted to play, or we asked, I don't even remember, but right now Trigg County on October 8th, so no more Christian County, but we still do have a game, and that's what I'm worried about. Just trying to get these seniors and all of them as many games as we can get to hopefully get back to 10.
Yeah, we don't. This will get us to 9.
This gets us 9. We need one more, and it's the last week of the season, October 29th.
So really, we had 3 open dates this originally.
We originally had 2, and then Murray got us. So then we were down 3 right away. Yep.
So if you're going to the game, of course, the football stadium there in Lewisport, Hallsville, right
Uh-huh.
there. I forget which town exactly it is, but go to Owensboro and take a right after you
right.
go around the loop. And it's pay at the gate.
Yes.
Pay at the gate.
Yep.
And the game will be broadcast. We will either do it live with our group. We've had a little COVID with our team, and we've had some other issues with our internet service that we stream that over. But we're trying to put all that together. If we do not do it, the Hancock County has third region sports network that really does a good job. That's where I've watched some of the games. And if we don't stream it, I will have a link on all of our digital media this week, and you'll be able to get to the game and watch it on there. And if so, we'll probably go ahead and do a pregame and a halftime report to kind of get you caught up. If we're not able to stream the game live, we still have to make arrangements with their folks, make sure it's going to be okay.
Okay.
So that being said, Coach, good luck up at Hancock County. Let's go up there and get even 2-2.
Let's do it. We need it.
Yeah. All right.